Hi Pisces, it's Amber here from Symbols for Living. Hope that you're very well. I'm really sorry for not being able to do the May readings. Um, Unfortunately, due to circumstances out of my control, i.e. Mercury retrograde and everything else being retrograde, and that resulting in me having a lot of technical difficulties. Yeah, it's just basically really held me back, and I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to produce those readings for you as I promised. And yeah, all I can say is sorry. I'll try and make it up to you somehow. I don't know how. Maybe there'll be a few more interesting readings coming along this month. I'm definitely going to be doing the how does he or she feel about me spread, probably next week or maybe even this week if I have the time. And maybe as a little bonus, I might throw something else in there just to make it up to you guys. That's all, you know, all things being okay. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for taking time to watch the video. This reading is going to be focusing mainly on work and general themes, although I will be pulling a few cards from the Amira Love Oracle deck to kind of give us a bit of an overview on your love life as well, because just to give it a well-rounded feel to the reading. Interestingly enough though, we've got the King of Chalices in this reading, the Moon and the Lovers. So that tells me that even though this reading is mainly pertaining to work, it's quite an emotional month where you'll be having to make a choice. It looks like you seem to be stuck between two choices. It's a choice between doing something that, doing something brand new and striking out on a whole new path. But it will be in line with your passions, because we do have the Ace of Wands here. So it will be very passionate. You'll feel very excited about it, this new opportunity that has come in. And yeah, obviously with the Lovers card being there, it'd be a very hard choice to make. And I guess the only advice here is to follow your passions. With the Lovers card, it's often described as a head over heart decision, or choosing between two things that you love, really being torn. So, naturally the advice would be that you should really look in to see what your heart's saying, what really makes you feel excited, what really makes you happy. And that might be why the Ace of Wands is here as further guidance to say, yeah, this choice is going to be helped if you decide to follow your passions rather than doing what feels comfortable, doing what feels safe, doing what will make other people happy. Whatever kind of is going to be for an easy life. I think with the Ace of Wands is not really about the easy life. It's about excitement, new, daring, taking chances kind of energy. So that could be your fear, is that you would have to actually kind of come out of your comfort zone a bit and embark on something completely new. Maybe use new skills that you haven't used for a little while or ever before. You could be required to learn new things as well, as it is an ace. It's quite a new, fresh beginning. So there probably would be some groundwork to do to kind of get it to that, 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands stage. So yeah, I think that may be the fear there. With the Moon card being like your main focus, it's almost like you're trying to use your intuition, which is probably the most expected kind of, that would be your expected response as a Piscean, to kind of go into your emotions, tap into what the universe is telling you, trying to see signs and omens, and just trying to get a feel for what the right choice is. And yeah, that'll be your main focus for the month. In the end, it looks like you will find that emotional balance. There won't be this kind of back and forth anymore, because you've got the King of Chalices here in your near future. It shows that you do settle into a particular decision or route or road or path that you're quite content with, and you feel very emotionally comfortable with that as well. And on top of that, you feel like a king. So you feel like you really achieved something. You feel like you're fairly successful in your choice as well. So that's good. So that's looking like it will move across quite positively come the end of the month. And then we've got the overall outcome here as the Four of Swords. So this talks about, you know, a lot of hard work that may have been done, and like now you're kind of taking a rest towards the end of the month. So you may find towards the end of the month you will be yeah, wanting to take a break, wanting to reevaluate, wanting to discuss what's happened before, and then make plans for the future. So again, this is really about making a decision, and then maybe the actual hard work will come in, or not really hard work, but I feel that this is more of a decision month, and that's why the Four of Swords is here, rather than actually, as I said before, the Four of Swords being here because you may be overworked. I feel that you're overthinking, and you've had to think a lot to reach this decision, and then come the end of the month you'll be wanting to take a break, maybe for 4 days, maybe just for a day, where you just take a break and reevaluate the decision that you've made, think about how that's going to look in the future, and basically start making kind of maybe very kind of penciled in plans as to the rough outline as to what you want in the future. And you may find that you have to make further decisions down the line that are quite tricky, and where you're going to have to really stand your ground. So that's what the Four of Swords is here to really make you think through everything, about the next steps that you want to take, and take that time out away from everything to really gather your own thoughts. So in your subconscious you're thinking about the Six of Pentacles, so you may be thinking about money, you know, is it going to pay me back what I've put in? Does it really resonate with me as well? You could be thinking that, but I think ultimately you're probably thinking, is it going to make me more money? You may be thinking, am I really going to be compensated for the amount of work I'm going to put in? Is it going to be a wise investment? Am I going to get out of this what I'm putting in? But it's quite a positive card, and it shows you're in a position, or you feel like you're in a position where you may have a certain amount of leverage in the situation. And you might be able to demand a certain amount of money from them. You may be thinking that you might want to negotiate pay. So that could be happening too. And that might be why there's this kind of resting, waiting period towards the end, because it still may be being negotiated. As we do have the Moon card here, nothing's really clear. It could even become the full moon, that you will actually see things clearer, and maybe at that point come to a decision. I usually do check the moon phases for the month, but this month I haven't, because I just wanted to get these videos out to you guys. But I'm sure you can probably Google moon phases for June, next full moon for June, and it will probably give you all the information. One good site that I use is Lunar Living. It's a really good site. It actually talks you through the moon and its phases, and how that would affect the world affairs, and also mundane kind of life issues. And it's just a really interesting website. It's been going for a little while, so I'll definitely check that out. I think it's lunarliving.org or .com, I'm not too sure, but if you type in Lunar Living, you'll be able to see all the moon phases, and what sign they're in and everything. Even to what degree the moon will be in when it's full, waxing, waning, or whatever. So it's pretty good. So yeah, it could be around the full moon that you find the clarity that you're looking for. It could also be where you do kind of reach a kind of decision in some way. Like I said, things are becoming a bit clearer, so then you start to be able to make more definite decisions, and the decisions will be, you know, I think determined by whether or not you do feel secure in that role. You know, I think security is going to be an important factor for you with the King of Chalices here, and not just like financial security, but that all-round kind of security. Like, can you trust the people that you're working with? Are they genuine people? Have they got your best intentions at heart? Have they got a good ethos? Has the company got a good kind of ethos and things like that? So yeah. In the near past, we got the Knave of Swords. So again, and then we've got the Queen of Swords here as to how you see yourself. So you do see yourself as being quite, having to be quite decisive. As I was saying with the Four of Swords, you know, the Five of Swords comes after that. So you can kind of expect that once the Four of Swords is done, you may have to make some harsh decisions and cut certain things out in order to progress and move forward onto the Six of Swords. So you could be kind of really kind of getting into that energy where even though your main focus is to use your intuition and to kind of get a feel for a decision to make, you actually feel like you're having to make a tough decision. You're having to put aside your emotions, put aside maybe what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel, you know, all mushy and cozy, and actually get into some sort of, into the harder kind of real world, I guess, of business or work or whatever, and develop your career. But yeah, you do see yourself as being quite decisive in a way. Like, I feel that you're being pulled in that direction, so that's probably what's bringing that side out in you, and that's why you feel like this is how you are. In actual fact, you're actually still very Piscean, but you just feel like you're kind of maybe being pushed into a corner and having to make a decision. You feel like the Queen of Swords. You feel like you're being tough. You may feel like you're being mean and having to make mean choices, and but don't worry, people still see you as very much the Cups energy, very much the water sign, and they see you as very blessed as well, and you know, reaching your potential and fulfilling your dreams and actually being quite successful. And they see you as very, you know, successful. When I say successful, not just monetarily, like you seem to be generally happy with how things are in your career, and people can see that. As I was saying about the Knave of Swords, this talks about investigating. So it could be that you were investigating your options previously, you were still doing research, and now you're at a point where you're able to make, or think you've maybe got two choices. And the challenge is finding one that's actually, that makes you feel passionate and excited about that endeavour. So that's what you were investigating before, and I think you've come to that. And I think ultimately, as a water sign, what would make you feel passionate and what would make you feel excited would be something around, you know, things like compassion and caring and sharing, and where there's some sort of emotional element to it. And that might be why you find yourself here at the end of the month very happy, content, and emotionally content too. So you could have been just looking at different options and investigating them, looking at them, seeing what fits, what doesn't fit, asking questions. You were kind of trying to figure things out, trying to figure out what your options even were. So you were still doing a lot of investigating, probably towards the end of May. But then come June, you find yourself, you know, in a little bit of a state of limbo where you're having to make a choice. Your fears is the Ten of Swords. So I don't know if maybe in the past, especially with the Queen of Swords here, the Queen of Swords often is a character that has had to go through quite a lot to get to where she is, and had to give up quite a lot, and had to kind of maybe even disconnect, because, you know, disconnect slightly from her own femininity in order to fulfill certain obligations that she may have had. You know, it's often quite a cornered place the Queen of Swords will find herself in. That's why she's got the sword, you know, because she's quite defensive. But the Queen of Swords and the Ten of Swords being here is kind of concerning to an extent, because it shows me that underneath it all, you're actually feeling quite burdened, and you're maybe quite fearful and quite defensive, and not feel like maybe you can be emotional, be content. I mean, luckily here it looks like the outcome, you will have this kind of restful period and you will have that emotional contentment, but you are fearing this maybe being backstabbed, maybe not being able to trust people. You're also fearing failure as well, possibly. But ultimately, it tells me that you are or have been going through some sort of mental stress, possibly depression. The Ten of Swords often related to depression, because it's got the guy on the floor where he can't move, and depression takes that kind of hold on people. So it could be that you're fearing, you know, whether or not you can maybe cope mentally with these changes. You know, you could be worried that, you know, if worse comes to worse, if it really doesn't work out or things don't go to plan, like, can I handle it mentally? Would I still be able to move forward from there, or would I be completely defeated? And it's that, and that might be why the moon card is here as well, because it's that kind of energy too, where a lot of subconscious feelings, thoughts, fears may be coming to the surface for you now, for you to look at, which can be quite disconcerting. So it could be that those kind of emotions are coming up and they're kind of making you feel a little bit nervous and unsure and a bit apprehensive about the future. But people around you, I mean, this is really just going on in your head. You know, this is your hopes and fears, and this is how you see yourself. This is very subjective energy. It's not really, because on the outside that we can see, we've got the Nine of Cups. Yeah, so it shows me that actually people on the outside, I mean, if you were to put what you've done on paper, or you were to describe yourself on paper, people will be like, you're extremely successful and you don't have anything to be worried about, and you seem to be on the up and up, you know. So it may be that you really do need to, you know, this Four of Swords energy will really kind of give you the opportunity to do some honest self-reflection and really see that maybe a lot of these swords are unnecessary, and in actual fact could very well be in the past, because we've got the swords energy over here kind of in the past as well, and this is a hopes and fears. So it could be that, you know, none of this is, you know, maybe you haven't experienced any depression at all, maybe you haven't experienced any stress, but you're just worried that it will be stressful, you're worried that it will be defeating, it'll be just too much mental anguish to cope with. But it looks here actually it'll be quite peaceful, so I wouldn't worry, and especially as this source energy is kind of like on this side of the reading, which pertains more to the past. Yeah, again, I'm like inclined to say that it's just a worry that you're having, and you will get an opportunity to rest and recuperate come the end of June. Or as a result, you know, the Four Chalices, you have this kind of emotional balance that comes back in. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it about work. I mean, it may not be a new job opportunity, it may just be a change at work in some way. I mean, you could be deciding, there's no leaving cards here, so I don't think you're leaving any jobs per se. So it could just be a new opportunity that you're able to bring in to your already existing kind of work life. Although, having said that, with the Lovers card here, it does talk about a choice. So, but then as I said, nothing's leaving. So it could just be you're considering an offer that's been made to you. You might not necessarily need to let anything go. you just need to really make a choice and really think, you know, do I want to add this to my portfolio or my current work setup, you know, as another stream of income or another opportunity to develop my skills. So yeah, you could really want to do it, but you know, you might be thinking, do I have the time for it? Can I really manage adding something else onto my schedule? I think you're tapping into, like I said, yeah, your higher self in a way, or really connecting to yourself within, to figure out the choice to make. And yeah, I think that's really it. I think you're just trying to choose the right thing. And I think, as I said, it's not something that you're not leaving anything behind. You're really building on something. You're adding to what you already have. And that's why the concern is here. But you will get a break. The overall energy for the month is the Three of Coins, or the Three of Pentacles. So yeah, we are setting new foundations in our careers. As I said, it could be a third stream of income. You know, you could already have like your job and then maybe a side business, and now maybe something else has kind of come in. That may mean you might need to compromise on this a little bit, because the Lover's card is about compromise. So it could be that you get another offer and that's what the focus is. It could also mean that you're having to collaborate with people. It's not going to be a project maybe that where you're working on your own. And that might be where the King of Chalices kind of comes in, and this give and take energy comes in, is where you having to you know, compromise with others and develop ideas with others in order to make the project a success. But this does talk of success, and it does talk of accomplishment. So I think it's just also a well done to you to say, you know, you're doing really well. You have made a significant accomplishment in your career, and you've almost, in doing this, you're kind of like, it's kind of like the bow on the, you know, the icing on the cake. It's like, but not just that, it's like the fourth wheel to the car. It's like it completes things. It's got a sense of completion in terms of your career. So you may really be setting a very good foundation for yourself this month that you really are able to build on in the future. And it will give you that kind of security and longevity, I think. So then we've got the last two cards here, Knight of Wands and Knight of Chalices. So again, this talks about being brave, going for things, not being shy, not being reserved, being brave, being bold, being confident, believing in yourself, and being passionate and being a bit cocky too, having a good sense of humour, and being charismatic, and not getting attached to things, like allowing things to come and go, and just enjoying the moment for what it is. So taking each moment as it comes, appreciating each moment as it arrives, and making the most of each moment. Basically, that's there with the Knight of Wands. So that's also another energy that you'll be carrying with you through the month, or this is further advice for you to go ahead and adopt those kind of character traits this month, especially with the Ace of Wands being here. You may need to be quite brave, you may need to be quite bold. Also working with others who may be very passionate about the project, or be very passionate about their ideas. You know, you yourself will have to be, you know, slightly detached in a way with the Knight of Wands here. And especially with the Queen of Swords, like being a little bit detached and, you know, going ahead and arguing your point, putting your point across, also expressing yourself. And then lastly, we've got the King of Chalices, which talks about doing something that you love, doing something that actually really makes you feel happy, and also where you're also helping other people, and it's also quite creative. So I do feel that this new role that you're taking on is going to allow you to really connect more to your maybe more Piscean traits in terms of like emotions, sensitivity, healing, and things like that. In some way you'll be looking after others, or helping others, or being a support to others. So yeah, yeah, it looks really good. A lot of collaboration, a lot of really good feelings about the new project that should be coming in. It's just a case of deciding for yourself, how much can you take on. And I think that's the only issue. I think you just want to make sure that you are very well compensated for the amount of energy that you'll be putting into it. And people do see you as quite successful, but you might need to be, as you say, you see yourself as a King of Swords, you will need to be maybe a bit tough or tougher with people, maybe, to ensure that you get what you want out of the situation. So I'm going to go ahead now and pull some cards from the America Love Oracle. So that was just a very quick kind of mini reading for the month in terms of career. As I said, I will be doing a how does he feel, or how does she feel about me spread later on in the month. Or possibly even, yeah, like I said, this week, next week, not too sure. Alright, so, a lot of women in the picture, which is interesting. So yeah, your partner is on this side. This is the lessons they're learning. This is how they see you or feel about you. So they feel that you're very beautiful. They're very attracted to you. You see them possibly as being quite young at heart, being quite flirtatious maybe as well. I mean, if you see how she's sitting here, not that all young females are flirtatious like this, not at all. But I think a young female knows her beauty and also comes to learn fairly quickly that her beauty is her power, or is a strong power anyway, if not her only power, but a strong asset that she can definitely use to her advantage. So yeah, you see them maybe as being quite flirtatious, being quite seductive, and knows how to get your attention, and essentially is quite young at heart. You may also see them as quite feminine if they are male. You may see them as kind of feminine, maybe more receptive, more wants you to take the lead and things like that. You may be kind of feeling like you have to take most of the initiative maybe in the relationship, and they kind of allure you. They kind of lure you with their attraction, or with their attractiveness, I should say. Your focus or learning point this month is family. Their learning point this month is the brunette female. So they could be learning that they actually really do like you. I mean, it's brunette here. So obviously they're very, very much thinking about you this month. If you are the brunette female, if you are the male in this situation, and this is actually the woman, they see you again as very beautiful. They may feel very beautiful around you as well. You may make them feel very beautiful, but ultimately they see you as very attractive. And maybe almost in love with their looks a little bit. I mean, a beauty queen in a male would be quite the glamorous kind of guy, the kind of guy that would make sure his eyebrows are done and might have a little bit of foundation on. So yeah, I don't know, she could see you as being quite in love with how you look, or just see you as very attractive and just know that a lot of people find you attractive, and that's where you're kind of the beauty queen. And you yourself see her as a young female, very vivacious maybe, and confident and alluring, yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you are the female in the situation, and I'm talking really, I mean, I'm limiting this to heterosexual relationships. It could be completely, different. So please do try to fill in the gaps where I've left gaps in terms of my explanation, because it can get a little bit tiresome having to describe every single situation, but I will try my best. So yeah, your main focus is family. You're focusing on maybe whether or not this new person or this person in your life can actually fit into your family. Can they provide the kind of things you need for your family? And are they also interested in family? So you could be thinking now, I mean, maybe the relationship has progressed and you're thinking, okay, I really want to kind of introduce, sorry about that. Yeah, you could be thinking, oh gosh, this camera. Yeah, you could be thinking that, I wonder if this person's actually right for me and my family. You could also be learning about family and expanding your family. I mean, if for instance you're a single parent and you've got kids, you may have been on your own for a little while, and now the idea of actually bringing someone new in is a challenge in some way. So you have to kind of learn that maybe family, learning how to kind of introduce people into your family unit. It could also be that you're already part of a family and you're quite focused on a very beautiful person, and you're having to learn that actually your family is actually your main priority at the moment, and so therefore you can't explore, or you feel anyway that you can't explore your interests with this other person because you've made a commitment to your family, even though you find them very young and very sexy and they're very attractive to you. You could be kind of focused on family and feel that your real loyalty lies there, possibly. So it could play out like that. Your partner is very focused this month on the brunette female. So again, you could be this brunette female. And they're just very, very, very focused on you. So you are their whole learning experience this month. They could be learning more and more about you. There could be like a true deep connection kind of going on here, because we've got family, then we've got this main focus on you. And I do believe this is you, because we've got kind of the same kind of person or character in this card, and this is what they're thinking or feeling about you. So their lesson this month maybe is to focus more on you, is to kind of get to know you a bit more, to find out what you're really all about. Because right now maybe all they know is that you're a brunette and you're female, and they need to kind of figure out what makes you tick, what's important to you, what your priorities are, what your goals are, who are you. Because it's quite a mysterious look that she's got in her eye as well. So he could find you quite intriguing. I think it obviously finds you very beautiful, and he's very intrigued. Again, if this is a she, I should be saying she could find you. If she is a brunette female, she could be very focused on herself. And that might be why you see her as the beauty queen, where she's just very, very self-focused. So yeah. Interestingly enough though, the Three of Pentacles kind of mirrors the family card. So I think that there will be some sort of collaboration between families. Or maybe even just friends. Sometimes our friends are our family too. It's just like that kind of mixing of worlds. So you may be really kind of interested now in wanting to know, what is his family like, or what's her family like, are we really going to click? So yeah, could be kind of something like that going on there. And you've got the Ice King as the overall energy, or the overall spiritual advice even. So Spirit here is saying that you may need to, exercise more of the Queen of Swords energy. You may need to appreciate that. Maybe come out of your feelings a little bit. You are being asked to have a more balanced emotions. And it's funny as well, because the King of Chalices also has a lion with him. He's got armor on, but he's got a weapon. So they're very similar. It's funny how Spirit speaks through the cards, but yeah, I think that you are being asked to be very grown up in terms of your emotions. The Ice King can be very icy, can be very cutthroat when he needs to be, but doesn't forget that he does need to be personable, he does need to be approachable, he does need to kind of be a bit soft, because the lion is very soft in touching it anyway, but very strong underneath. And it's having that kind of energy where you're very personable, you're very approachable, you're very soft on the outside, but you have a certain amount of conviction and resilience within to enable you to draw clear boundaries with each other. And yeah, clear boundaries in the relationship or the connection that you have. So not to get too caught up in your emotions. Again, the challenge here is past love. So there could be some past issues that you guys are working through. It could also be that there's a past love that's interfering in the relationship. That could be why there's like 3 women here, possibly, and you're being asked to, you know, really kind of not get too caught up in your emotions about this, and to still make level-headed decisions that you know are really going to be emotionally positive for you and emotionally supportive for you. But yeah, decisions will need to be made in love, I think, most definitely. And it will possibly be around family as well. Because again, he's the head of the household as well. The King of Chalices is the father of the decks. So yeah, for you the main focus is that emotional fulfillment, that emotional balance, having that happy family. So what connects you to is gifts. So it could be that you really do both bring a lot into each other's lives. You both have got a lot to offer each other. And the challenge really, and it could be that, you know, it could be relating to the 6 of Coins as well, where you want to make sure that whatever you're giving, you're going to receive back. You want to make sure that there's an equal, even playing field when it comes to the emotional side of your connection. Or even just generally. It could be even that you want to make sure that, because it's a coins card, you may want to make sure that any money you put in or invest in a relationship may be with regards to anything. If they want to start a business, or they need money for this or that or the other, or they need you to help them in some way, I think you're going to want to make sure that they also are reciprocating that. Because we do have the 3 of Coins here. It's about collaboration and everyone pulling their weight. So yeah, I think that will be quite important. But ultimately, you do each have things to give. And it could be that it's kind of, because even though relationships are all based in the heart and all that, there is a certain amount of thinking that goes into it. And sometimes on a practical level, it's like, okay, so what can you actually bring into my life to make it better? For me to invite you into my life. And I think you'll both recognise that you've got a lot to offer each other. And that you may even feel like each other is a gift to each other. What connects you two could also be the fact that one person is kind of giving a lot of gifts to the other, maybe. Especially with this person thinking so highly of you. And they could be giving you lots and lots of gifts. So yeah, it's looking quite good. Looks like families will be connecting possibly. Just got to keep a level head. Don't get too carried away, I guess. And remember that you've got the Lovers card to deal with. So that's why the Ice King has come out. It's like, make sure you're level headed. And the Queen of Swords and the King of Chalices, it's like, it's all about being level headed when making a decision. Although you are definitely in that moon energy, some people might say, oh well, it's the moon energy, you're going to be confused. But I think for a Piscean, that's where you may find the most clarity, is in you actually taking that time out to listen to the universe, connect with the universe, become one with it, and really kind of get that confirmation as to what your next step is going to be. So really getting in touch with yourself. So that will be things like doing things like meditation, walking out in nature, you know, meditating on the creation of the universe, you know, pondering, connecting and thinking in a bigger way. It might bring things into perspective for you a lot easier and really give you that clarity. So Yeah, that's basically your reading. I probably could go on for a little bit more, but as it's so unspecific, it's just very general for a whole lot of lovely people. I can only really, I have to stop at some point because there could be so many scenarios. So I hope that you enjoyed the reading. As I said, I'll be doing a more full love reading with the How Does She or He Feel About Me spread very soon. So until then, take very good care and I'll speak to you later. Bye.